These are very dangerous signs and signals. Normally, when there is totalitarianism, the branch of government that gets emasculated is the legislature. The judiciary can function to an extent. Sometimes they give orders that are not obeyed and all that. But the principles of checks and balances in our constitution is properly situated in the legislature. Separation of powers is situated in the legislature. And these are the things that some people may not be comfortable with, maybe either their lifestyle or what they want to achieve and all that. But, like I said, I am not surprised because once a country does not have a national interest, these are the things you see. Personal interest, group interest, regional interest, ethnic interest, religious interest. These are the things that take the front burner. That's the problem. So a nation without a national interest is a country in crisis. A country without a national language is a country in confusion. And a country without a history.
What do you mean a national language?
A country that is lost. You see, for as long as we don't have, English is not native to us. Some little countries in different parts of the world, you see them on TV, United Nations, EU, they speak a particular language. Language is a very important unifier when you want to build a country. But here we are, we speak English, but unknown to most people, as at 7 or 8 years ago, Britain that even taught us English. They don't see us as an English-speaking country, but Ghana is. Like if you want to apply for a job in England, you have to do a course in English. But we pride ourselves that we speak English. But they don't see us as
no, that wasn't always the case.
So you see, why is Wazobia, apart from maybe channels, why is Wazobia, either Wazobia Radio or Wazobia Studio, why are they very popular? Because 65% of Nigerians understand what they're saying. Okay, we see it even at a very ridiculous level. An official of government goes to a function where you have just native folks, and he stands there and he's reading maybe 3, 4, 5, 10 pages of English. Whereas you could have communicated better with just ordinary language. But having said that, the signs we're seeing, the things that are happening, are not very good for democracy. And for those that understand it, once upon a time, a member of government of a ruling party was declared, we will impeach Belado Musa and let the heavens fall. They impeached him. And when the heavens fell, he fell on everybody's head. Because it didn't take long. That administration and that republic was gone. We do not pray for that. And we are not working towards that. But then, if you want to make any medicine you put in the eye, you don't put pepper in it. What we are seeing, they are not encouraging. They are heartbreaking for anybody that understands what democracy is. If you look at section 1(2) of our constitution, it is clear. Nobody should take control of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or any of its parts, except in a manner provided for in this constitution. And there is nowhere is provided in the constitution that it should blockade or take charge of the National Assembly, the citadel of the elected representative of Nigerians. People are not, they don't even understand the implications of what they're doing. And it's because they're not attuned with what you can call national interest. It is always, I did this, bragging rights, I did that, I stopped this person from doing this, I stopped that person from doing this. Where does he live, Nigeria? What has Nigeria benefited in this childish and stupid fight? I mean, the amount of resources that have been deployed in this nasty and very crude thing, what have we gained?
But one would have thought that we had put that behind us by now. I mean, the fact that this happened, I think, on a Tuesday, shortly after the Senate President had called for a meeting with the leadership of the National Assembly to see when they could reconvene over this budget of INEC.
Yes.
And, you know, after that, it still did not stop them. I think Tuesday they had that, that all of that episode went away. On Wednesday, we saw a World Press Conference addressed by the Senate President, and then shortly after, he faced the business of speaking with the leadership of INEC. And then we have been hearing a lot of external influences. APC asking for the impeachment or the resignation of the Senate
That's
President.
the point.
We've also heard the RAPC asking the Senate President, when you do reconvene, declare the seat of the minority leader, former minority leader, vacant and all of that. But speaking with members of the National Assembly themselves, they seem least interested, seem is the key word there, least interested in all of these external influences than facing what is going to happen in the National Assembly when they finally reconvene. Shouldn't we go with their reassurances? I mean, we had two members of the National Assembly from both sides of the divide yesterday sitting on the same chairs that you were sitting on, and both of them, you know, seem to be very focused on the budget that has been presented by the President for INEC and, you know, doing the environment and ensuring that the elections are able to hold as scheduled. Are you surprised that we still do not have a date as we speak for the National Assembly to reconvene?
Well, you see, sometimes some of the things that you see or you heard is different from what really happened behind the back door. When you look at the National Assembly and the leadership, as it were, they are resolute, they are focused on what they want to do. And in fact, I'll give them a kudos by even reconvening one way or the other, or having a meeting with the INEC to show that they are committed towards having an election because they know the danger of not having that particular election. And now they have already come together to agree that they are going to reconvene at a particular date which they will announce to Nigerians. The truth about this is that there's a politics being played now. Who is in the majority, or how can we consolidate power to know that like probably the Senate President will still retain his seat, as it were. For the first time in the history of this country, we are seeing where we have a Senate President belonging to another political party and his deputy belonging to another party. That will send you a message to know that there is a serious control by that particular Senate President with regard to the two different political parties who are in majority in the House. And now, that particular gameplay is being played out behind the back door to know exactly, before we can come in to that particular house where the power is, we must be sure that we are in an advantage position.
You think that's what's going on behind?